Yo, good afternoon.
You're muted. Your mic is messed up. No.
Try now. Try now.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
We're
You're
good. We're
in.
good. All
Yes, you're
right.
good.
Oh, dude. My bad. My bad. Woo. All right. It's Selection Sunday. Texas baseball continues to roll. I got a max value 3-run homer earlier today to beat Mississippi State in game two.
Yep.
They're currently rolling right now. Not rolling, but it's currently 1-1, bottom of the third. There's 7 inning games, so I'm sure as we go through today, we'll keep you guys updated on the Texas baseball game. But Tim, first off, how you doing,
Oh man, I'm good. Ready for Selection Sunday. I've had some hot takes, and I've got some hot takes as we, you know, could possibly be ready for Selection Sunday. I don't necessarily know if we're gonna make it. Am I confident in it? No. Do I think we will make it? I still don't know. I will say, this is probably, we've had some Texas teams that have been very, very good. This one is the most unusual team because they can do everything that we didn't think that the other teams of the past could be able to do. Like play defense, they can play very good defense. They're a great
man?
rebounding team. They
Yep.
they can play fast, they can slow down. Although I do think that the last couple of years has been an ongoing thing with Texas not necessarily being the team of pace. Sometimes I think they're going too fast, but this specific team this year is a year where I feel that they have all the talent in the world. We've seen what they can do. They can go up against an A&M, an Oklahoma, and a host of other teams, give them a fight, or even beat them, and still lose to a Georgia, lose three straight. The way Tennessee got handled yesterday was absolutely insane, and
Uh,
th- there should have been no way that Texas should have lost to Tennessee. They've got way too much talent. And the fact that they lost to Tennessee the way that they did is just it doesn't sit right with me. So this team is all over the place. We don't know. I don't think they have a true identity. Again, shouts out to Florida winning the SEC. That was not what I was
I
expecting.
just saw that.
Yeah, Florida won the SEC. You
Is
know,
Tennessee a fraudulent team?
yeah. Oh,
It
Rick
feels
Barnes.
like it feels like you get to like February, March every year, and then
Do you
start to look at Tennessee and like, are they really that good?
do you look at Tennessee? Do you remember when Tennessee was a number one a couple of years ago and they wet the bed and they
In the
lost
first round. Yeah, in the first round or the
in
second round or something,
second round?
right?
Yeah, second round. Um,
Early before the first weekend. Yeah.
yeah. So, you know, that's one thing that Rick Barnes, I will give Rick Barnes is that he gets talent. You
So much, dude.
he gets if you think about the talent that he's had over the years from between Texas and Tennessee, he's gotten some great talent.
Great.
It's
Dude,
just that
they had Ziegler and Dalton Connect last year, and they only
and
got to the Sweet 16.
right. So it's like
Actually, no, they got to the Elite Eight last year. They got to the Elite Eight last year. But see,
they,
that was the first time in like Rick Barnes's like Tennessee coaching career they got that far.
right. So you have all of this talent, you've curated all of this talent. It's like what are the next steps to get you over that hump? We don't know. And I don't although I think Texas has the opportunity to do something, I just don't feel like they're not that they're not ready. I don't trust Rodney Terry to make the proper choices. I
I
think
think it
he
comes down to coaching at this point because like if you look like this week, the way they played the SEC tournament,
Mhm.
played really good this week. Like the way they play is the way you should be playing. Great guard play, minimizing turnovers. The thing
Right.
that got them hurt against in that Tennessee game is the fact that they couldn't minimize turnovers late in the game. They ended up like they started off with 2 turnovers,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think they ended up with like 8 or 9, and it's like key turnovers and key moments to where you have an opportunity to change that game.
Well, I
Instead,
know.
it's a 5 point or 4 or 5 point swing.
Well, I know for a fact when they were playing against Tennessee at one point in time, Texas had 10 turnovers.
Yeah,
You're not winning like that. Not against a Tennessee. You barely beat A&M, but you were able to beat them, which was great because you had
I
people
also
foul.
don't think A&M's that good.
You had people fouling out. Uh you had people fouling out. People were tired. You went into 2 overtimes, and maybe that played a big maybe that played a big factor against
Oh,
Tennessee.
for sure. Yeah.
Because they played the next day. I don't even think it was 24 hours later.
No,
Well,
because
it was
if
24. It was 24. It was a
you,
little.
but if you think about like the time the game ended to the time you tipped off again, it was less than 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
your game goes into double overtime. They don't finish until like almost 6 p.m.
Yeah.
right? And then 6:30, right? And then you turn around, tip offs at 2:30. Tennessee hadn't played in a week,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And, I mean, they'd play their last SEC game, and in the SEC you get 2 buys if
Right.
you're a top 4 seed, right?
Right.
So, yeah, very, very. A lot of these teams in the SEC are very interesting. Like the SEC ends up being the best conference in the nation. But then if you take a deeper dive into some of these teams are very intriguing. Like Auburn is pretty good, right? Obviously, the
Right.
number one at one point, the number 1 team in the nation.
Right.
Florida is very good. And you got these teams like Tennessee, Texas, Oklahoma,
Yep.
Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Kentucky. Like this is like weird teams where like some days they look really, really good.
Yep.
Some days they look really, really bad, and some days you just don't know what they are. I think Texas A&M is going to be one of those teams that a lot of people would pick to go deep. I think Texas A&M could be, if they get stuck in one of those like 5-12 games, I wouldn't pick Texas A&M to win that game, especially if it's against a team that can score. This is the one thing I noticed about Texas A&M.
Mhm.
They don't have any 3-point shooting.
Mm.
They have one guy that can score, and he's a free throw merchant.
Right.
Like all of his points, like against Texas, he scored like 27, like 18 points came from the free throw line.
Right.
He went like 30% from the field outside of that. The dude's not that good. I'm sorry. He's just not very good. A&M's basketball team is flawed, just like the rest of their athletic department.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky, I haven't really watched much of Kentucky, but Kentucky's like, okay, you're getting in because you have 10 conference. This is the other thing that hurts Texas is even like Oklahoma has only 6 conference wins, but Oklahoma didn't lose to Georgia, who's not very good. Texas has some bad losses, and those losses I think are hurting them more than their big wins help them.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why they're on the by most predicted to not make the tournament.
Yeah.
And some guys have them as 11 or 12. So it'll be very interesting because their quad 1 wins, they have almost as many quad 1 wins as any team in the country.
Yeah.
But they're like 3 and 5 in quad 2 wins. And that's hurting them.
You have a 6-12 record in the SEC.
Yeah.
That ain't
look, the SEC is hard. Like I get it.
yeah.
Even like Auburn lost 3 games in the SEC. It's a very, very good conference. And then Alabama finishes 3rd in the SEC. They have 5 losses. So it's a very good conference. Don't get me wrong, but it's the games that you lose.
Right.
That really hurts you. Like losing that last game against Oklahoma, unacceptable. That probably kept you out, honestly, because you beat Oklahoma and you beat and then you go on to beat Vanderbilt and A&M. You're probably in,
Yeah, yeah.
even though you lose to Georgia, and then you lose to Georgia by 14 at home. That
You
was a killer.
that you don't do that. You
That
don't.
was a killer.
You go on this win. You have these great wins, right?
Yeah,
And then you drop the ball at Georgia. In the way you drop the ball at Georgia, Georgia pummeled you. They
at home.
they beat you senseless.
Yeah,
You
here we
can't
go.
you can't do it.
Looks like Auburn is the number 1 overall seed.
We knew that was coming.
So
A&M made it.
I'm not surprised that A&M makes it. They make it as a 4 seed,
Right.
which is interesting in itself. So A&M will be a 4 seed in the South region. So we'll see what happens there. That'll be very interesting. Michigan, the 5 seed. Of course, Michigan wins the Big Ten tournament today.
Yep.
Creighton has a 9. Now that's dangerous. Creighton's always this dangerous team.
Creighton looked great against UConn.
Creighton looks really good.
They look
I
good
don't like
against
the
UConn.
matchup for Auburn either.
Yeah.
That
If there's an Auburn Creighton matchup, that'd be great.
that would be fun. Louisville's a good team too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Louisville team is very good. So very interesting. First flip.
Let me ask you this. As we watch what's happening live, Selection Sunday, we're watching ESPN. They have just announced the South region in the first round, who will be available to play. We've got we'll just recap this real quick. We got Auburn. Well, wait a minute. We just got another.
Wow.
Uh,
North Carolina and South San Diego State at that 11 play in. So that's 2.
Yeah, so you got Ole Miss versus San Diego State or North Carolina, Iowa State versus Linscomb, Marquette versus New Mexico, Michigan State versus Bryant. This is the South region in the first round. Again, we're recapping the Selection Sunday, trying to see if the Texas Longhorns make it into the actual tournament here. Now, if they don't make the tournament, which I'm going to go on record and say I don't think they make it.
I don't think they will
either. Do they take the NIT invitation?
No. You know what I think they're going to do if they don't make the tournament? They're not going to take the NIT because there'll be a high NIT seeding, right? And as it's already been called out, Texas women are hosting their games. They're going to be the Texas women will be a number 1 seed.
Right.
Also, before we continue on, shout out to the 72 of you guys in here.
Yes.
Thank you very much, guys. Go to YouTube, like, subscribe, comment there, comment here on the Twitter feed. Really appreciate it. But the women will host like games this week, right? Because they will be in the seed. And so there's no space for the men to play because they can't host because Moody will be taken up. And so because of that, they won't accept the NIT. And so I think they cut the season. And I think they're going to fire Rodney Terry.
I mean,
I think he's going to get let go regardless.
I think I want Rodney Terry gone. I'm done with him. We tried this. We've got to get around this. Oh well, he was a great assistant when my man from Ole Miss was here.
Chris Beard. Sorry,
Chris
I was
Beard.
on.
Yeah, Chris Beard. Yes, he was a great assistant. Chris Beard has cultivated enough talent for other of coaches to go and spread their wings and do other things. However, Rodney Terry does not work at Texas.
Terry just doesn't work as a head coach. Period.
Listen, I don't want to say that he works as I'm not going to knock him as a head coach. Period. I just don't think he's doing enough at Texas. Matter of fact, he's not pushing the program forward. we're in regression. We are taking multiple steps back since Chris Beard has departed. Unfortunately, he departed because of domestic violence, and of course, we don't promote that. But when Chris Beard took over, things were on the up and up, right? We were getting the recruits, we were getting the attention. The stadium was selling out. Mind you, this is back when we had Frank Irwin. Moody wasn't built yet. We were selling out Frank Irwin. We were selling out a bigger stadium.
Yep.
And was doing great. Now what Vic Schaefer is doing with the women's team is remarkable.
Awesome. Unreal.
It's sensational.
But his trajectory, right? The trajectory of Vic Schaefer was bottom up. Like that first year went okay. The last 2 years though, Elite Eight. Like I think the first year they went to the second round.
Yeah.
Last 2 years, Elite Eight. And this year they were number one for the first time in 20 years.
What we also have to realize and recognize and start to actually kind of give a lot of kudos to the coaches of the past as well. Texas women's basketball has never really just been terrible.
Yeah, it's just been okay. I mean, Texas men's basketball is also like kind of like the trajectory's kind of been the same. Not great.
I would
not
say
horrible.
I would go on record to say that as far as tournament appearances, conference championships, getting to the big dance in general, I think Texas women's basketball has done significantly better than the men.
Yeah.
Duke, especially within the last 5 years.
Yeah. Duke now the number one seed in the East. Arizona, listen. I don't know what it is about Arizona's basketball program, but I love Arizona's basketball program.
Yeah. So
that 4 seed is looking really good for them.
We got an update here. We're in the East first round of the men's Selection Sunday for the NCAA tournament here. Duke takes the number 1 seed against American or Mount St. Mary's. Next up, you got a number 8 seed Mississippi State versus a number 9 Baylor seed. And then you have 5 with Oregon versus a number 12 Liberty. And then that last round there, we got Arizona versus Akron. Those games are going to be the Friday games. Listen, this year, to me, and just you let me know what you think. This year has not really been driven by stars. Would you agree?
By stars?
Like college basketball stars. Now, we all know that Duke always got one. But my man, he just got injured.
But he'll be back for the tournament.
They're saying a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, I know.
That 2 months minimum for him to come back in a couple days. I don't believe that to be true. Yeah. I listen. Do they have enough talent to get to the Elite Eight? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But if he's not playing, Cooper Flagg, if he's not playing, I don't see this.
Yeah. Okay. Alabama, number 2 seed in the East region.
Yeah. So we just got another update. Eastern region first round, excuse me. Selection Sunday. We got BYU versus VCU. We got the 3-14 Wisconsin versus Montana. We got the 7 versus 10, which is St. Mary's versus Vanderbilt. And then Alabama versus Robert Morris. These games also take place on Friday. So,
yeah, Vanderbilt's again another one of those teams where you just don't know really know who they are. But once you get to that 21 mark, you're basically in, right? It's these teams that are like 18 wins, 19 wins. Like those are the teams that you just don't know. Um, and Texas is one of those teams. And based on seeing North Carolina, I will tell you right now, the fact that North Carolina got in is absolutely criminal. It's
Yeah,
criminal.
that's
It
crazy.
like that's a brand.
That's crazy.
That's a
That's
brand.
that's
They
the
have
name.
one.
That's the name.
They're 1-11 against quad one teams. 1-11 against
Yeah,
quad one teams
yeah.
is
That's it.
crazy. They shouldn't even be considered.
North Carolina basketball wise is definitely a blue blood. We know what
Oh yeah,
we know what they do, and they have not been dominant this year.
dude, I think Texas could beat North Carolina.
I think Texas could be North Carolina too. Um, the- I don't. I don't think they get past the first round. I mean, do they get past the first round? Possibly. Do I think they
No,
have do they have a potential to get upset? Absolutely. Because where did North Carolina fall again? Number 11?
oh here you go. North Carolina 80 Bubba Cunningham is the chairman of the NCAA tournament selection.
Excuse me, say that again.
North Carolina 80 Bubba Cunningham is the chairman of the selection committee.
There you go. Doing North Carolina a favor.
There you go.
Okay, so right now, I think we could both say, and a shout out to 106 people that jumped in here, man. We appreciate
Literally.
it. North
Because
Carolina.
I think Texas is out at this point.
Oh yeah, Texas is out. They're not making this. If they do make it, it'll be
It would have been that San Diego State North Carolina matchup is where they would have been at.
yeah. This is rough to watch, man. This is rough to watch. Seeing North Carolina get in, and
It's
then
crazy.
finding out that you said the chairman of the selection committee.
Yep.
That's a politic. That's a
Yep.
politic, bro. That's I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna pull rank and get my alma mater in here. That's what that is. And you know what? If I was a chairman and I was a A&M, not A&M, Texas Longhorn, anything, I would probably get them into. I would try to pull rank and probably get them in. Now, North Carolina would be out. North Carolina would be out. But hey,
that is crazy to me.
now if North Carolina would have beat Duke,
I get it.
1000% understand. Because listen, North Carolina did that North Carolina Duke game was great. It was great until the lane violation that completely ruined that game. That lane violation on that free throw attempt in the last couple minutes of that game,
Yep.
killed it.
Yep.
Absolutely killed it. When do we start talking about Ronnie Terry replacements in the event that he gets fired?
Right now.
I don't like talking negatively. I like that, but it's like, bro, this he shouldn't even, his key card shouldn't even work at the facility right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing right now? Like, what
Yeah.
What do you
think-
do?
I think from what we're reading, right, or from what I'm reading is true, then they've already been searching for a new guy.
They gotta see. The thing about basketball, that it seems to me like basketball starts so quick, and they're so like, you gotta get your guys in there quickly. Like you got so many spots that you gotta fill. You get Ronnie Terry out of here You got to get Rodney Terry out of here like Monday.
Like
He
today,
needs
yeah.
to be gone. You got to
Gotta
get
pack your bags, bro.
you got to get your guys in the building. You got to get in the transfer portal. You got to get your guys out there and try to get recruits in. You've got to. This could be a situation, and I know this sounds like a long shot. You may have a situation where nobody, especially none of the top basketball players in the state, may want to come to your school after the coaching change. So you may have to go to the transfer portal and piece it together. You may there may be, and I can't remember who said this. I think it was Rick Pitino that said this a couple of weeks ago about he's not interested in the transfer portal. I mean, he's not interested in talking to high school recruits right now. He's interested in talking to what happened? What just happened?
Texas got in.
No way. How did you
Texas
find
is
out
as
we're
the
in
11th
commercial
seed.
break?
Huh?
How did you find out we're in commercial break? It leaked on Twitter.
I think somebody leaked it on Twitter. Well, I think one of the networks is ahead.
Oh, okay.
On3 just put out there Texas, the Midwest region. So, where Houston is the 1 seed. So,
oh, great. So an early exit. We ain't making that.
So they'll play Xavier, and then if they win, they'll play Illinois.
Oh yeah, they're getting bounced out first round. Xavier, they're playing Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier's not very good.
They're not very good this year. They're not very good this year. Listen, congratulations to the Longhorns for making the playoff. I mean, not the playoff, but making the tournament. I did not expect this. I did not want this. Let me be completely honest with you. As a Texas Longhorn fan, I don't feel like they were deserving, especially the way that they lost this last game. They did not do well. Maybe it was the rest. Maybe I'm just being a negative Nancy. Maybe I'm just pushing for change quickly. Maybe I just want change to happen quickly. I don't want a situation to where these good coaches or maybe these well-deserved assistants are out here and they're doing their thing and Texas misses on the opportunity to go get a high-powered coach. Now, we know for a fact that a lot of the big names, are not going to be available until after the tournament, which we got a couple of weeks, beforehand. But I would really like, and it's good to hear that Texas is still actively looking. That is a good thing. That makes me feel good. But I do feel like this is one of those times, and I've mentioned it before, where I feel like Texas will go on some stupid run in this tournament and possibly save Rodney Terry's job. Like, if he would have beat Tennessee, if Texas would have beat Tennessee, I think that would have been a job saving win.
I think so. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, look, if here's your thing, right? Let's just say, I don't know this happened, but you beat Illinois, or sorry, you beat Xavier, which I think Texas can beat Xavier. I'm nothing like about Xavier like screams really good to me.
Okay.
You beat Illinois. Now you get into the Sweet. You get into an opportunity to get into the Sweet 16. Right? You play the winner of Kentucky and Troy. They can beat Kentucky. They've beaten Kentucky.
They beat Kentucky before, yes.
And so again, now you're getting into a scenario where it's like, wow, like it actually sets up pretty well for Texas to get into the Sweet 16. And that's not like.
Let me ask you this.
But it still doesn't mean that you keep Rodney Terry as the coach.
That's the whole thing. If you don't make it to the tournament,
Yeah.
Again, we just got an update. The first round in the Midwest. You got number 1 Houston versus SIU Edwardsville, which is number 16. You got an 8 and 9 matchup with Gonzaga versus Georgia. You got a Clemson team that is playing against McNeese. And then you have Purdue playing against High Point. That's your 4 and 13 matchup here. In the situation of where Texas does, they get past Xavier, they beat Kentucky. That would definitely be an upset. I think Kentucky makes it to past their first opponent. Texas comes in, beats a Kentucky, a high-seeded Kentucky, and gets to the Sweet 16. Does that save Rodney Terry's job, in your opinion?
I think it just depends on how they look at it. It goes back to like
I say yes. I say yes because here's why.
I don't think it doesn't have to. I mean, you can.
No. It doesn't. It doesn't have to. But you get to an opportunity. You get to a point to where you as an AD or you as just a committee in general, boosters, whatever. You'll get to a point to where you're like, man, this dude is really. He's up and down, but when he's up, he's up. And let's see where this goes. It's like, how much more time are you willing to invest in Rodney Terry?
I think that's what it comes down to. I remember when Tom Herman won like 8-5 that last year.
Yeah.
And they're like, and then he won the bowl game.
Yep.
I think you're kind of in that same, but then they're like, they still fired him.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the look. Just because he makes the Sweet 16 this year doesn't mean they have to bring him back. If they're gonna look, if there's an opportunity to bring in a clear upgrade, they're going to bring in a clear upgrade.
I think they have to. I think they would be.
It just depends on what's out there, though. Like, let's just say they go reach out to like a Willie Wade or a Drew Scott or like Kelvin. I'm just throwing names out there. Kelvin Sampson, right? And they go reach out to all these guys, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm not interested." Well, then you got no options.
Right.
Like CDC's not. I think CDC probably wants to make a replacement, but it's one of those things where if Steve Sarkisian wasn't coming to Texas, Tom Herman would still be here, or he would have stayed.
I don't think Tom Herman would still be here. I don't think Tom Herman would be here. I think Tom.
Or you would have somebody else, right? Like they would look for a different option, right?
Yeah.
Look for a different road. So, I really do think it depends.
You know what I'm really glad of? I know I've said this before, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad Texas didn't even look Brent Venables way. Because I was on the Brent Venables hype train. I was on the Brent Venables hype train.
You love it. Hey, that's that Clemson loving you, bro.
I mean, listen, the way that they were playing defense when Brent was there, they played very good defense.
Oh, look at this. So Texas, I didn't get a chance to look at the rest of it. So Texas gets in as a 6 seed. They, their side of the bracket has Tennessee. They'll play the winner of Illinois Xavier. Then they'll play, if they get there, Troy, Kentucky. On the other side of the bracket, UCLA, Utah State, Tennessee, Wofford. I think UCLA can beat Tennessee.
Yeah. Listen, just historically, Tennessee and Rick Barnes have not been very well. Rick Barnes, as a coach, has just not performed well in over 20 years as far as getting to as far as the tournament is concerned. I think Rick Barnes is a very, very, very talented coach as far as getting those guys, getting the big names, getting the talent, those guys going off and having prominent NBA careers.
Yep.
Very talented. When it comes to this tournament, though, he is not. There is no way Tennessee should not have done more than what they did last year. That was the opportunity, and I think most of us thought what Rick Barnes had last year was the was the epitome of like a championship team. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, I guess not. No, but he's had so many teams that are like national title worthy, or like at least Final Four worthy.
Yeah, I mean, let me ask you this: do you think Texas can beat an Illinois team?
Yes. Yes, I think they can. Again, I'm not. I've watched Illinois play. They're not super impressive. Like these teams that they're like these teams that you got to think it's all about matchups.
Right. I will say this is probably the most balanced of power bracket. Yeah. Am I looking at this wrong or like?
No. I like top to bottom. Like even if you look at Auburn's not like just like this dominant team that's been like killing it every game. Like there's not even like a team. This is a wide open year, in my opinion. Just based on, I think there's a lot of very good teams all over this bracket, and this is just one of those years where it's like it's gonna come down to which teams, right, find themselves playing their game in moments that matter, and this is gonna be like I don't know, but I don't see like an Auburn winning the home. Florida, by the way, gets the last number 1 seed over, so they got the number 1 seed over Tennessee.
Man.
And so
wow. Look at this. Listen, wait, hold on right quick. Look at this west region. Florida, Norfolk State, that's your 116. Your 8 and 9 is UConn, Oklahoma.
That's crazy.
Your 5 and 12 is Memphis versus Colorado State, and your 4-13 is Maryland versus Grand Canyon. Ooh, listen.
Memphis is
I
haven't seen Colorado State play, but historically knowing a team like Colorado State, they can shoot. They can shoot. So that means Boise State's out. Because Colorado State wins the Mountain West. Indiana's likely out. Yeah, I mean Texas will play on Wednesday. Texas play Wednesday night.
Ooh.
In North Carolina, and yeah, Texas, North Carolina. So Texas plays Xavier. North Carolina plays San Diego State. Looks like they'll all play in Dayton, Ohio.
Have they given us a time on when Texas will play?
Not yet. We'll post that. We'll post it on Twitter. Shout out to 123 of you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Listen, we appreciate it. We originally was going to do a show on Sunday. My birthday just passed, but even if that, I definitely felt like it was necessary to do this, especially after the way we watched these last, like really honed in on these last couple of games for Texas. I just really wanted to get a good feel of like this Texas team, because I'm not gonna lie, as a fan, it has been hard to watch. It is just the ups and downs of this team. It's been very, very hard to watch. Listen, Trey Moore has been a bright spot, but
he's been really good.
He's been fantastic. Again, Texas has played some really, really good defense in the last couple of games, but they also wet the bed quite a bit. You can't get blown out like to Georgia like you did. If you keep it to single digits, I'm okay with it. You keep it to you keep it respectable. You can't let that happen. We just got an update here. We're gonna update here in the West region, first round of the NCAA tournament. It looks like a number 6 Missouri will take on a number 11 Drake. Shout out to them. They just cut away. I'm gonna go back. Once they go back here in a second, I'll update you. But anyway, it's been hard to watch, but there's been some bright spots. They've gone back to the bracket. We got a number 3 Texas Tech versus UNC Wilmington. That's your 3-14. You got your number 7 matchup being Kansas versus a number 10 Arkansas.
Yep.
That was a good matchup that I watched. That Texas just should have done better. And then you got, of course, St. John's versus Omaha. St. John's is
a 2 seed. Is crazy, man.
St.
They are good. That's a good St. John's team.
Yeah. St. John's is historically has always had a great program. They've always made some noise, and to see them continue to do what they've done over the years is always dope to see.
That's cool. Yeah. 30-4. Good. Shout out to them. Yeah. We'll probably do a bracket challenge again this year. I'll set that up today. Send out the link. We will probably do another. I think last year we did a $20 gift card. This year we'll probably do something similar. So, yeah, we'll wrap up quickly. Texas baseball is still going on. Texas is currently looking to sweep that series, opening round series. They are currently in the top of the 5th. Texas is up 2-1. So remember, that's only a 7 game. Tim, any final thoughts?
No. I'm very shocked that Texas has made the tournament.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful the bracket doesn't seem too difficult.
Yeah.
But you can't. I'm just hoping for the best, right? Like do I want Texas to win? Yes. But I definitely think it's time for some changes no matter what happens. I just feel like changes need to be made. Now, if they go in and they pull off the outland, if they somehow manage to get themselves in a Final Four situation, I'm cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think even if they get to the Elite 8, man, if they get to the Elite 8,
listen,
then they give them another shot.
I think if you get past, I think if you get to the Elite 8, I see his job being like saved.
Yeah.
Even though I feel personally, and again, we're fanatics, we're thinking differently. Chris Del Conte has a whole different thing on his plate. He's got to worry about how removing a coach, how can it affect recruits, money, buying out a contract. He's got I don't know how long his contract is. I don't know when his contract is up. What if they just decide, hey, we're going to let him play his contract out and see what he does so that we don't have to have that money on the books? That is something that could very much happen. So we're not in Chris Del Conte's shoes. That's not a call we got to make. We are just fans, and we want the best for the school. We want Texas basketball to be as dominant as women's basketball. We want Texas basketball to be as dominant as Texas baseball and other sports in general. Texas is in a really, really, really good spot athletic-wise. You got teams making playoffs. You've got SEC Players of the Year. You've got college football playoff berths. You've got major recruits coming in for baseball and football on your team. You're climbing up the ranks in baseball as well. You're winning national championships and making appearances in volleyball. Your track and football team, your track team is snagging up SEC championships and breaking records and doing all of this. And Harish, you've been so spot on. The one blemish on Texas right now, sports wise, is the basketball team.
The men's basketball team, yeah.
The men's 100%. Basketball team, specifically. Yep. It has been the biggest blemish on the entire realm of the Texas athletics.
Yep.
And I think you have to address that. You can't let that just continue to slide by.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's yeah, they got to figure it out, and I don't know what it's gonna take. But they've got to figure it out, and and we'll just see what happens this week. You just kind of play it out.
Got to
I
play it
mean,
out. I
I don't know
just
if you're excited or not excited about them getting in. Listen, I just want to see Texas play. I
now
guess.
now
Like,
Texas
but
Texas women's got high hopes for that.
I
You
will
know,
say, I will say though, Rodney Terry this time of year does some weird stuff, and he messes around and wins a game or two.
yeah.
So that's why I wouldn't shock. Like he is a playoff riser. Like look, if you think about it, if
I
you
don't
think
get it. That's why it's so crazy because I
that's why
feel
it's
like
so
he can pull
frustrating.
that off.
Look at what he changed last week. He actually like. Well, I think also some of this was the guy. They finally played a point guard, a real point guard, right?
Right.
And the reason why they were able to is because the guy that they usually play at point guard has been hurt all year.
Yeah.
And so when you have the ability to play uh, uh, your point guard where you are, you it changes the way you run that offense. Now Trey Johnson isn't asked to hold the ball as much, right? He can do
Right.
things off the screens. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Something about Tremont Mark being able to play point guard has done some of the things that you said, where it's allowed them to slow the game down at times. It's allowed them to speed it up. If Texas doesn't turn the ball over, they're actually not a terrible team.
They're actually really good, dude. They're the
And it's
bigs.
because Tremont Mark is playing point and he's able to like slow the game down and not turn the ball over.
It's
So
it's
I
it's
think that's what it comes down to is it can Tremont Mark continue to take care of the ball the way that he has over the last week. And if he can, I think Texas can win a game or two.
yeah. I mean, listen. It's been an interesting year. One thing I do know, I do know for sure, the bigs have done some very good things.
Yeah,
Kendall Weaver's defense has been,
finally. And that's the other thing. Kendall Weaver's been gone all year.
yeah,
And he's like the defensive anchor. Like that's the hype guy.
dude,
The one thing I can't stand about this team that absolutely has not changed and has to change, Keaton Cedric, man. My God.
uh,
That dude does some absolutely clumsy stuff. But as much clumsy stuff as he's done all season, him going perfect from the line against A&M is what helped him win.
yeah,
So
dude,
again,
dude went 8 for 8. Dude went 8 for 8 against
he's
Andy.
like a 60% free throw shooter.
He went 8 for 8. He went 100%.
It's crazy. So
DJ
yeah.
DG just jumped in here. Okay, who do we have to play to get into this tourney? Listen, we're playing Xavier. DJ DG, thanks for stopping in. We're playing Xavier on Wednesday, the 19th. We'll definitely put out more information as it gets closer. I'll post some stuff tonight about us playing Xavier, and once we find out the time, I'll definitely keep you guys posted and where we'll be playing. I'll also do that for the women's bracket. I don't know, Haris, did you want to do something for the women's? I think we know where the women's are going to be. We know that they're going to be in there.
Selection Monday is tomorrow, I believe.
What time?
Let me check. The women's selection.
I think for the women's, it's not about we know that they're going to get in. It's where and it's who they're going to play. Because listen, women's college basketball got some dogs. Okay.
Oh, the selection show for women is tonight. It might be in like an hour.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know if you got anything going on. I mean, I'm down for it, but I know life happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see what time it's at.
No, I meant to
At 7. It's in like an hour. I think Oh, he was. Oh, DG was trying to. He wasn't saying asking who we played. He was asking how the hell we got in. Basically, who did we have to
Listen,
get in?
as much as I've been negative about Texas, they have 5 really good wins on the season.
Yeah,
Regardless,
I think
regardless, regardless of the season and how we're 13th in the SEC. Those wins that Texas has are quality wins.
Yeah.
They listen, they are good. And when you have something like that, does it make it hard? I didn't think with the way that things played out and the way that they lost against Tennessee, I just didn't see them getting in. But I for sure thought, they beat Tennessee, they're in.
Yeah.
If they beat Tennessee, they're in. Now, the one thing that we can say about the Tennessee game, even though they never led that game, they did keep it fairly close. So they didn't just get blown out of the water. This wasn't like a Georgia situation where Georgia comes in and dog walks them in their own home. They kept it close. They just never were able to get over that hump.
This is what I think.
If they don't go into OT, that might be a different game.
Yeah.
That might be a different game.
So Indiana's a team that didn't get in. Here's where this is actually why I think Texas got in. Texas is 7-10 against quad one schools.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they got in over Indiana. Indiana was 4-13 against quad. They had 4 quad one wins. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State didn't get in. Ohio State had let's see. Ohio State was 6-11 against quad one schools. So if you look at some of these teams that didn't get in, of those schools, Texas also played in the toughest conference, right?
Yeah, that's a big deal too.
And some of these losses that they had, they also beat some of the best teams in the conference, right? You beat A&M. You beat Kentucky. You beat Mississippi State. You beat A&M twice.
Yeah.
Right. That extra win in the tournament against A&M is really what sealed. I think that's what sealed Texas.
Yeah, I think so too. Right? I think so too. I think if they lose against A&M, they don't get in.
Here's the thing. Texas is 19 and 15 this year. If they win any one of those games, if they win any game, one more game in the regular season, they're automatically in the tournament because 20 wins in this conference has gotten a lot of these SEC teams in.
Right.
Like, let's go look at this bracket now that it's out, right? Let's see. 27. Oklahoma gets in. Dude, Texas has beaten Oklahoma twice.
Yep.
Oklahoma gets in, not even on the bubble. You know why they're not on the bubble? They had 20 wins.
They got 20 wins.
If you beat Oklahoma that last game of the season, we're not having this conversation.
That also plays a major part in why I think Texas gets in too. You play against an Oklahoma team that has 20 wins and you beat them. You play against an A&M team that's got over 20 wins, you beat them. You beat a highly ranked Kentucky team. Some people think that Kentucky could possibly want to be one of the 5 or 6 teams that actually wins it all. And you don't necessarily have a great showing against Tennessee, but they don't blow you out.
Yeah.
That's the last thing that they have. Like that was a tough game. That Tennessee game versus Texas, that was a tough game. I watched it in full in its entirety, and from start to finish, that was a tough game. It really was. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna do our best to keep you guys posted. We got about an hour till Selection Sunday for the women's team. We might be back on. We might not. We don't know yet. But if we are back on, we'll definitely let you guys know. You'll get those information. You'll get those notifications via Twitter. You'll get those notifications via YouTube. For you 135 guys that are listening to us.
Thank you.
Please again, thank you so much. We can't express the appreciation of you chilling with us on a Sunday afternoon. It is nice outside. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. You know, it's barbecue weather if you're in the state of Texas. I know other people on the East Coast, and my thoughts and prayers go out to them because it was a major storm that ripped through Alabama and the rest of the Southeast yesterday. Tornadoes all over the place. So shout out to them, thoughts and prayers to them. But right now we got some really nice weather. And you guys, 135 of you guys are chilling with us. So we do appreciate it. We will either be back, like I said, we'll give you an update on Twitter if we'll be back or not. Regardless, make sure you guys stay here to follow us. We'll get more information out to you guys very soon.
Yeah, and we'll if we don't come back tonight, which I don't think we will, we'll be on Tuesday night.
Yep.
We'll do an early show this week, because Texas plays Wednesday and women and the NCAA, and I'm not going to be available Thursday because I will be out and about watching games, and I'm sure Tim will be as well. So, so we'll do a Tuesday night show this week, huh?
Yeah, that works for me because I definitely, as soon as I clock out, I'm going to watch games.
yeah. I'll be. Maybe I'll see you guys out and about. I'm planning on being at the Pluckers in South Austin, over there on Slaughter, the new one, the brand new one that came up. I went there the other day. That place looks awesome.
That's awesome.
Really cool. So that's probably where I'll be. So if you guys see y'all out there, let me know. If I don't see you out there, we'll see you here. But between now and then, my name is Harish. This is my guy, Tim Wayne. We out of here. Peace.
Joe Gable.
Go home. Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard.